Travels with Charlie. There's a quote in there for us Great Lakes people. It says, how can one enjoy color in perpetual green? And how can one enjoy warmth without the cold to make it sweet? So remember that for the next 5 months. If you would, Evie here, Mayor is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Very honored, Todd Holsworth from Northview Church out of Carmel, now part of Westfield, will lead us in prayer. So if you will join us, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
Please begin.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray together. Dear God, we first just acknowledge who you are. You are our God. You are our creator. You are our sustainer. And Lord, you give us life. And you also depart on us wisdom. And that is my prayer for this meeting, Lord, that you would bring your wisdom here for decisions being made during presentations during this entire evening. Lord, I also pray over the leaders of our city. Lord, I also pray for wisdom for them. And as they make decisions, Lord, just lead them. I pray for our schools. I pray for principals, teachers, coaches, Lord, all who are influencing others in our city, God. I just pray over them. I pray over our families. God, keep them unified. Protect them, Lord. And I pray over those that are hurting in our city. Lord, I pray that you will come alongside them, heal them, show them your love. And Lord, again, I just ask that you be in this place. You be in our city. You protect us and you lead us, Lord. Thank you for this meeting. Lord, be in this place. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, I'd like the clerk to note the presence of a quorum, please.
Jim Ake,
Here.
Chuck Lehman,
Here.
Bob Horke,
Here.
Joe Edwards,
Here.
Cindy Spalgeric, here, Mark King.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I'd like everybody to note there are no changes to the agenda, so we'll move on to the next order of business, which is approval of the minutes from October 9. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as stated?
So moved.
I have a motion by Bob Horke. Is there a second?
Second.
Cindy Spalgeric seconds. Are there any discussion matters, any corrections, additions to note? Hearing none, I will ask you to approve the minutes as stated by signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to approval of the claims tonight. You've had a chance to review those claims. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Dr. Keene. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Joe Edwards. All those in favor of approving claims as stated, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Claims stand approved 6-0. We'll note that Steve Hoover is enjoying himself in the great state of Hawaii for the next month, so we wish him well, and we probably all wish we were there with him. At this time, we have a very special presentation, and Mayor, you're going to introduce our mayor for the evening.
I'm happy to. We have a new mayor. Did you know? This is Evie Mayer. So I'd like to introduce you to Mayor Mayer. She's a 4th grader at Oak Trace, and she is huge in gymnastics. She was very worried about coming here tonight. Her said, well, I don't know, I don't think they work. And, we got to talking a little more, and I find out they're both self-employed, I believe, you both have your own business. So as far as your daughter's concerned, you don't worry. So, that was wonderful. So we're really thrilled to have, an Oak Tracer here tonight. She was a little nervous about opening the meeting, but, we got through it, right? And the council will do exactly what you said. And if you don't like anything they do tonight, just speak up, okay? Because you control all these adult sites. They're all yours for the night. Can you handle that? So we want to give her a very special proclamation, and you were the winner at a silent auction that your parents contributed to. And where was that?
At the Winter Festival for Oak Trace.
The winner?
Winter
Oh, yeah.
Festival.
Oak Trace. Oak Trace. They put on that Sabre Westfield too, huh? Oh my gosh, those people know how to raise money, I'm telling you. So, therefore, I, the ex-mayor of Westfield, okay, proclaim this is Evie J. Mayer Night in the city of Westville, October 23rd, and we call upon all citizens to welcome Evie as she honorably serves the city of Westfield as mayor for the evening on October 23rd, 2017. Here is your proclamation and my signature, and you are now mayor. Okay? This is yours.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to old business. We have before us ordinance 1730, which had an APC public hearing on October 2nd, and it's up for adoption tonight.
Good evening, President, members of the council. For the record, my name is Amanda Rebedew with the Economic and Community Development Department. Before you this evening for adoption consideration is a proposal to amend the North Point Aurora PUD to accommodate the construction of a 92,000 square foot office and manufacturing facility on approximately 12.3 acres that would house the global headquarters of Bastion Toyota Zipline. To refresh your memory, the parcel that would be affected by this amendment is located immediately north of Carrington Mortgage and south of 202nd Street along US Highway 31. As you'll recall, this item was introduced at your September 25th council meeting. Since that time, the petitioner has included building elevations and landscaping plans as part of the proposed PUD standards. The public hearing for this item was held at the Plan Commission's October 2nd meeting. This item comes to you with a unanimous favorable recommendation from the October 16th Plan Commission meeting. Greg Durham with Bastion Solutions is here, and staff is available as well, should council have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Amanda. Does council have any questions for either Amanda or the petitioner tonight? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion, please.
I move that we adopt ordinance 17-30, North Point Aurora PUD amendment.
I will second.
I have a motion by Joe Edwards and a second by Mark Keane. Any further discussion from council members? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Cindy Spillier. Yes. Mark King,
Yes?
Joe Edwards,
Yes.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
Chuck Lehman,
Yes.
Bob Porke.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. I'd like to say how much we appreciate working with Toyota Bastion, and we look forward to a great future. We've got some work to do, gentlemen, and thank you for investing in our community. We very much appreciate that. Next item up for business is ordinance 17-31, Custom Commerce Park PUD amendment. Good evening, Mr. Crabtree.
Good evening, members of the council. For the record, Dan Crabtree with the Economic and Community Development Department. The item before you is a proposed amendment to the Custom Commerce Park PUD specific to a portion of Lot 5, which is located on the east side of Oak Ridge Road between State Road 32 and 169th Street. This ordinance was introduced at the September 11th City Council meeting, and as you may recall, while a self-storage facility is a permitted use within the PUD, this amendment is necessary to allow the self-storage facility to abut Oak Ridge Road. Since the introduction, the project has changed so that tilt-up concrete, as opposed to EIFS, will be used as the primary exterior building material of the 3-story climate-controlled building that fronts Oak Ridge Road per the concept plan in Exhibit 3. Secondly, the legal description of the ordinance has been modified so that the amendment is applicable only to the real estate west of the Marathon Pipeline that bisects Lot 5. This item received its public hearing at the October 2nd Plan Commission meeting, received a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission at their October 16th meeting, and is available for adoption this evening. Clint Patterson from Sterling Development is present and does not plan to make a presentation, but they are available if there are questions, and I'm available if there are questions of staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Does council have any questions for either staff or petitioner tonight?
I'd just like to say I originally had a problem with the EIFS use, and I appreciate the petitioner changing that up and using that as only a secondary material.
I think we all appreciate that. Any other comments? I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 1731, the Custom Commerce Park PUD amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Bob Horke, a second by Joe Edwards. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Bob Horke,
Yes.
Joe Edwards,
Yes.
Cindy Spaljerik,
Yes.
Mark King,
Yes.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
Chuck Lehman.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Very good. Last item under old business is ordinance 17-42. We heard this, it was introduced to council October 9th. It's up for adoption, approving the issuance of stormwater district revenue bonds. Mr. Zager.
Well, sir, you basically said it all. We had our last meeting on the 9th where public hearing was held. I received no questions. Since that time. There has been a projected project list distributed as well. If there are any questions, I hope I can ask, but basically this is a revenue bond. It will not come from tax money.
There are no changes in that
None.
project list,
Well, it'll continually change, but
Okay.
yes,
but none from the original.
yes.
This time I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve ordinance 1742, approving the issuance of stormwater district revenue bonds.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Bob Horke, a second by Cindy Spaljerik, yes. Thank you. Any further discussion among council members? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Chuck Lehman,
Yes.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
Bob Horke,
Yes.
Joe Edwards,
Yes.
Cindy Spaljerik,
Yes.
Mark King.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Very good, thank you. We have two items under new business. The first is ordinance 17-39, and this is concerning the operation of horse-drawn carriages within the city of Westfield. It's a council introduction tonight. Brian, you want to give a quick review?
Certainly. Due to requests from an operator and other people in the public, the idea of horse-drawn carriages on the streets of Westfield has been entertained. This ordinance would allow it within the parameters that the ordinance sets out. Among the things that are trying to be addressed are safety to the public as well as to the streets and infrastructure of the city overall. This is just a draft. It's pretty close to being what I think could be adopted. It's here for your approval and your review. And entertain any questions over the next couple of weeks before it comes back for its first possible time to be adopted.
Okay. I do have one question for clarification. Under section 3 specifications, horse-drawn carriages, all horse-drawn carriages shall be equipped with the following. And under A, it reads spoked wheels no more narrow than 1 1/4 inch with a rubber coating thick enough to protect the streets from damage and to keep the noise at a minimum. that would not exclude other types of wheels, because sometimes a wagon may have like regular car type wheels. Does that need to be clarified, in your opinion, or?
You and I discussed this, I think that, I will look at it, make sure that it does, but I believe that the statement was no thinner than, no harder than.
Yeah.
But I get back.
Okay. That's the only comment I had. This is council introduction. Any other thoughts?
I received a comment from I believe a township resident who was concerned about some of the provisions affecting their private use and enjoyment. Was our intent with this to be for private as well as commercial endeavors?
I don't believe it was strictly to only private, although there are registration requirements that would be necessary for any vehicle that would be drawn by horses in the city. And keep in mind, this would not extend beyond the city limits.
So this doesn't affect township, but if they come onto city, then it does, correct?
Well, the ordinance we adopt can only authorize where we have authority to authorize, which would be the city limits, except of course in zoning classification, or zoning matters, which would be township-wide. So, no, this would not authorize use of horses or horse-drawn carriages in the township outside the jurisdictional limits of the city.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, I'll move this forward. The next item, ordinance 17-43, establishing an equitable impact fee for purposes of planning and financing road and street infrastructure. This is also a council introduction tonight. Brian, do you have any comments?
Yes, those of you that have been here for a while recognize the need to reestablish an impact fee every 5 years. By statute, they sunset after 5 years. This is the initiation or reinitiation of our road impact fee, so that it's only one for another 5 years. For present now, there's no plans for an increase in the trip values. However, there is a new zone improvement plan, which we urge the bank to adopt, and also the recommendation as to the impact fee itself before it comes back here at the end of November. If you have any questions about the zone improvement plan or the engineering that goes into it, our engineering department as well as Matt Skelton can help you get the information.
Any other questions?
Who acts as the impact fee board?
We use the Board of Public Works.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, Brian. At this time, guests who wish to address council on items not on the agenda may do so at this time. Does anybody care to address council? All right. Seeing none, it's time for council comments. Bob, do you have anything from APC by chance?
There wasn't much of a meeting, but we did have one. It was over and done with in 17 minutes, I believe it was. Chatham Hills Section 4 site plan and overall development plan was approved. North Point that we acted on tonight was also approved, as well as the Custom Commerce Park PUD, which probably sounds eerily familiar because we just looked at that. There was a couple of small items that were consent agenda items. One had to do with a small accessory building that HIMI is putting behind their headquarters, and the Bastion Building Development Plan approval. Stretched it out as long as we could, but it only took 17 minutes, and now we've finished totally a couple of those items.
All right, very good, very good. Any other council comments?
I have a question, and would just ask the mayor if during your comments, I was out in the Midland this weekend and noticed that the East Lake, or retention area, whatever you want to call it, has been drained behind the Public Works building. The geese aren't happy, but I noticed most of it's down, and just would ask if you could just brief us a little bit exactly what's going to happen behind that area between the Midland and the Public Works building.
Yeah, Both of those ponds were, let's see, how do we say this strategically? Both of those ponds, prior to the advent of the sewage treatment plant way out west, those ponds were Westfield's sewage treatment plant. Over the last 15 years, they've been allowed to settle and really just are used as an overflow for stormwater. When you all agreed to pass a stormwater fee several years ago, one of our objectives was to use that money to reclaim those ponds. So what we're going through right now is a reclamation of those ponds, where we go in and actually remove the silt and sludge at the bottom of them, and they are, that sludge is properly disposed of. And the ponds are in essence are kind of rebuilt, water put back in, and they become, I mean, I can't say I drink out of them, but we can have fish and more park-like activities around those ponds. So what we'd like to do really is, we talked about, should we fill them in? Shall we use them as a water attraction? And I think what we're going to do is use those ponds as kind of a fishing and extend Simon Moon Park kind of around them. We'll be rebuilding the trail behind them, because the Midland Trail, because it's very bumpy and rough due to the black willow trees that cause the pavement to heave up. So we've got to dig that whole thing out. But we'll take down the fences. We'll put a new trail on the west edge of the property from 171 up to the Midland, and we'll just make it a much more aesthetic area than what it's been in the past.
Very good.
Can I ask one question about that? When will the actual sludge be taken out?
It's gone.
It's what? Yeah, when's their end date? Spring? Next summer? Yeah. It's kind of a slow process.
Oh, it's gonna take that long?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go back there and look, take a look. It's kind of interesting. You don't want to go back there right now.
Anyone else on council comments? Well, I'd just like to say thank you, Mayor, for doing such a fine job, madam. Pleased to have you here. And at this time, you can make some comments if you'd like, so we'll turn the meeting back to you for a moment.
She kind of told me she didn't have anything to say. Is that right? You want to say hi to Mom and Dad? I got a few comments to update people on some things. Is that okay? All right. Thank you very much. You've done a wonderful job. Wow. As Mr. Ake attributed to right off the bat, we had a rather large announcement, and thank you for approving tonight the Toyota Bastion facility that is going in up at North Point. Rather groundbreaking, I guess, in the history of Westfield, because it's really one of the first type of industries that we're interested in pursuing. We're blessed with a lot of small industry, but this is it's the first one to go into this industrial park up there north between 196 and 38 in an area that's been zoned industrial for now over 10 years. And what really interested me greatly was the fact that the Toyota and Bastion people, in desiring to come here, said, we want to locate here because you offer us the best location for developing a quality workforce. And that's really what we've been trying to do for many, many years. It builds on the quality of the schools and our amenities, such as Graham Park and our trail system, because the key to these kind of industries that are higher tech is their ability to draw a workforce from not only Indiana, but from across the country. And to have them locate here, knowing that they can hire 90-plus engineering-oriented people is really very important to the history of Westfield. So that was a great accomplishment. Thank you. Bulk Trash Day was held a week or two ago here in Westfield. We do that twice a year. Our Public Works Department, Phil Sundling, Jeremy, who's on vacation this week, they sponsor that along with our Customer Service Department. And not only did we get to throw away all kinds of things and junk, but our departments also raised $1,300 for the fight against cancer and the Relay for Life. We were very honored to be awarded one of 3 Green Communities of the Year in Indiana this past week. You know, we started a year ago a green initiative here in Westfield, and that's affected everything from our trash collection to our plantings, water and electrical cutbacks and conservation. But we were recognized by a group called AIM, which is Indiana's Association of Cities, for Westfield's volunteer work in our environmental concerns. So that was very important. This coming Saturday, we have a new event called Barktoberfest, put on by our Parks Department. Asa Bales, 3 to 7 p.m. Tickets benefit the Humane Society here in Hamilton County. There'll be wag bags, whatever those are, dog contests, agility course, and much more for this. Everybody has a dog, right? I learned that knocking on doors when we were campaigning many, many years ago. At least 80% of the homes in Westfield have a dog.
Or
Of
two.
those, at least 50% have more than one. So this dog thing is absolutely huge. At Grand Park, it's not closed yet. We have a couple of big events coming up. Let's see, on November 3rd, and the following weekend, we have the Big Ten women's and men's soccer tournaments here in Westfield. That's a big deal. When you think about the Big Ten stretching all the way from Maryland to Nebraska. Right now, you know, IU is currently ranked number 1. We hope that continues. That should really help. But to have the Big Ten, both men and women here in our little city of Westfield, which will be broadcast live on the Big Ten Network. Very big. Tickets can be obtained. I think they're only $7. Check out grandpark.org. And for you, Halloween, going trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
What are you going to be? I thought you were going to be a mayor. You're going to be a ghost. Tell you what, you be the mayor, I'll be a ghost. Is that fair? Okay. She says no. Trick-or-treating officially Tuesday, 5 to 8 p.m. Public Works and Westfield Fire will be out distributing county candy throughout our neighborhoods on that night, which is always fun. Halloween has just gotten to be huge. Behave. You promise? Okay. And lastly, let me tell you, Todd Bertrand could not be here tonight. He's on the school board, as many of you know, in Sheridan, had official duties up there. But Todd, this past Saturday, received his master's of education in municipal leadership from Western Governors University. The governor awarded him his graduation. So Todd has gone on in the last 6 years to get his baccalaureate, now has a Master of Public Leadership, and is soon pursuing his Master of Business Administration. So he's becoming quite the academic. So when you see Todd, give him a huge round of congratulations. Thank you.
That concludes our business for this evening. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Moved.
I have a motion by Bob Horky, a second.
Second.
Second by Cindy Spillier. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you.